All right, go. Okay, the P200 has a fantastic Sony image module. It gives you 30 times zoom, great for any size room. It's great in low light and has awesome color rendition. On top of that, we have our BirdDog NDI processing engine, which gives you the highest quality pictures at the lowest latency. It's compatible with any NDI device on the planet and just gives you the best outputs. We have our brand new user interface with NDI version 5, which gives you waveforms and vector scopes to make sure you're properly exposed. It also gives you unlimited control as far as color control and using your camera. In addition to this, it sounds strange, but we can do pan, tilt and zoom at the same time. Try some other cameras, they can't all do it. The P200 is a fantastic camera that's got every type of connection you can want, from NDI with power over Ethernet, SDI, HDMI, any control interface. It's got a great big tally on the top. It's a really great camera. How to do with the time? And the cool thing is, for a limited time, if you buy 3 P200s, you get a free PTZ controller.
What's going on, everybody? I am BirdDog John. Thanks for joining us today, and we are going to kick things off here. It is 1 a.m. in Melbourne right now, and that is exactly where I am. Without any further ado, I'd like to welcome Robbie to the show. What's going on, man? All right, let's see. Hey, what's going on, Judson?
Hey, thanks for having me.
I do much more. We are joined with BirdDog Ian, who is at the Capture Summit over in Atlanta. So how's it going, man?
Hot and sweaty.
That's the most important question that our team can ask. Why are you needing this camera?
Now, I haven't tested this thing since it got here. This is something that I'm really excited that NDI did. That's cool. Obviously, there are lots of flavors here, but this is the 4250 line. And our little friend here. Say hello to my little friend. It's brewing in the back of my throat. Based on the recommendation of Senseless, we're going to give a Java Monster a try.
Oh, yeah, Pocky,
We
dude.
got a little Pocky, and
Yes.
I have been putting this off for an age.
Oh, I'm so excited for you.
There is a Snacks on Stream mystery box brought to you by my Snacks on Stream manager, Brayton. What's going on, Bugsy?
There you go. What's going on? Bali, good to see you, man.
What's going on, NetHab? Hey, what's going on, Judson? And hey, Kevin, good to see you, man. What's going on, Jeremy? How are you? Thanks for jumping on. Oh, it's all good. That's right. The show starts now, and hopefully this is all working. We're going to find out. Let's find out. Hang on one second. Let me jump over to YouTube, make sure she's working. Should be working. Hey-oh, there it is. All right, so the setup continues to evolve. Hopefully you've been following along over the past past few weeks. My streaming stuff has been evolving. First we added lights, then we changed the system and how it works, and now I'm actually running 2 separate machines, one to run vMix because she was getting bogged down, and one to run the stream because it was getting bogged down. So I'm noticing that we're having like bandwidth issues. Not having bandwidth issues over here, but on the new machine that I'm running on, it seems to be struggle busing it. So let me know in the chat what is going on if you're noticing quality issues over here. I mean, it's all a big experiment, right? We just keep guessing until we sort it out. So anyway, so yeah, there's that. We're up and running on 2 separate machines now, and I think things should be all right. I've been learning a little bit about vMix, and if you missed yesterday, I was over on Tom Sinclair's show. The thing about this stream now is, well, I'll explain all this in a second. All right, cool. I just want to make sure that my lips are in sync. I don't know. I want to make sure that that's happening. I'm going to keep an eye on the bandwidth thing, just because I have a gig up and down in this NIC card in this computer, which is going to be like 600 megs, but that should be plenty. for now the example that I'm going to give you. So we're running vMix over on a PC over here on this screen and the example screen that I run. So, it's currently not set up, but I could screen capture that screen and then show it in the show. So we're running vMix over here. We're idling at about 55% CPU usage. I've also on Tuesday, I unboxed an eGPU and I started monkeying with that all day on Tuesday and really couldn't figure that out. And it's one of my questions for the group here today, which I will ask numerous times as people come and go. But for you vMix wizards out there, I have a Sonnet eGPU. It's fully functional. It's recognized by the computer. But when I switch over to that graphics card, everything goes crazy. Like, it starts dropping frames. The CPU jumps to 100%. The GPU shows that it's being overloaded. A lot of things. So yesterday I was on Tom Sinclair's show and we had a good chat about everything Bird Dog and NDI, and started talking through, a little bit about that problem that I'm having. And he was thinking that there was a couple of things that I could be trying. But then he also, as I explained the situation to him, then he thought, oh yeah, that sounds like it's a deeper rooted problem than just something simple. So we're gonna play around with that a little bit. I'm not giving up on it yet. I really want that eGPU to work because I'm finding out some limitations with eGPUs quickly, and that's unfortunate because it's not cheap. So I have these great GPUs, and then I have the cases for them, and I want them all to work, but we'll find out. I guess we'll find out what we can do. So running everything out of vMix. And then I take vMix, and I'm no longer obviously using the USB out on the external to send this signal over to the second computer. But you guessed it. If you've been playing along for a little while now, you've guessed it that I'm probably sending it out over NDI. And so NDI then encodes audio and video on the main output and sends it onto my network. And then on the other side, then I capture that information. Is it delayed? Oh my gosh, this is gonna drive me crazy. It looks like it's still like working great there, still like well under 60% on the CPU. So let's see what might be happening over here with this guy. Just want to listen to the audio. Okay, so it's linked up in the show. It's just looks like it's maybe having an issue showing it in real time in Chrome on here. Anyways, I'm learning all sorts of stuff here about how this works, and it never misbehaves until you go live, right? So anyways, sending out NDI here in vMix, the final program, and shipping it across to this computer, and then just using USB NDI webcam and just converting both audio and video and turning them into usable streams for StreamYard to use. So StreamYard is stripped down. I still have your comment section is still here. That's still live. So if you want to chat with me, feel free to do so. The best place to do that is over on, let's go. Oh, I don't have all my little hot buttons set up again or anything. The best place to do that is over at birddogjohn.tv, and that is where you can subscribe to the show and drop a comment in the comment section. It will show up here inside the web UI, and I can bring that into the show. We can discuss whatever you'd like to talk about. So the purpose of this show, it goes in various directions, but the real purpose is to be available for support, to be available to chat with you, and also to show that we're real humans. And one of the things that Tom had said yesterday on his show, if you missed that show, maybe look him up, Tom Sinclair over at Eastern Shore Broadcasting. He and I talked about this a fair bit, but one of the things that these types of shows do is it just kind of helps people realize that we're people too, like that we're not just drones, or it's not some massive call center in some other country. And, like we're really here interested in discussing and figuring out how to get your system optimized for NDI use. And once you get past all the marketing jargon that NDI uses, and that even Bird Dog might be a little bit guilty of using at times, we really do have some good methods to set things up NDI, it can function on a lot of network designs, but there are better ways of doing it, and so I'm happy to discuss those here with you. But we want to really be sure that you are using your products and getting the most value out of them, and so that's what this hour is for. Now, we regularly go over an hour, and I'm not, usually I'm not sticking to just an hour. It depends on how active, I guess, we are on the show, but yeah, I'm happy to stick around and chat with you about what's going on. And we do it twice a week. So Tuesday, Thursdays, there's lots of opportunities to talk. And if you'd like to talk this way, then that's great. If you don't prefer submitting tickets, I totally get that. So here's another avenue to kind of touch base. So we're using more of the power of NDI. We're going to use vMix's version of NDI and send that over to the secondary computer that's running StreamYard. StreamYard is then, NDI webcam is going to convert that signal, both audio and video, then over to usable signal that StreamYard can use here in Chrome, and then we're good to go there. So that is the current setup, and please let me know how it's working out. Now, something that I've noticed is I don't have audio from the StreamYard machine, right? So I fired up the first video and I got going on with Dan, and it started playing out of the speakers on the back of this computer. And I was like, oh yeah, it's no longer in my earpiece. Now, anything that happens over a vMix is in the earpiece, but quite frankly, it probably doesn't need to be. So, there's an idea. Yeah, I just had an epiphany. So what I can do, there's two options, right? So the way that I can fix this today is I have another one of these little extension cables. I can just plug it into the back of that computer. And then when I want to hear the audio coming out of the streaming computer, I could just unplug my earpiece and plug it into the other one. And I just label these, streaming computer and vMix. And that would be easy and no cost to anybody involved. Excuse me. However, I'm sure that they make a cable that can go from two outputs into one earpiece, right? So like a combining. So let's just let's take a quick little look here. A 3.5 millimeter two outputs to find out. So that's the opposite. This is the one that we want. But it needs to be like a combiner. This says it's a splitter. That's not right. I don't want it to send. I want it to. I need like the opposite of a splitter. Is it called a combiner? Is that what it's called? Basically, I want the ability to plug in two computers into the same earpiece. Combined audio combiner. Do they make it? That is the question. Alas, that is the question. Mic, no, that's for microphones and headphones. Let's say dual audio combiner. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I'm sure that's an audio splitter. A splitter. Suitable for switching. That's not what I want. So is anybody familiar with a product like that? I may just have to go old school and manually change it between the two. Go Web, what's going on? How are you, man? Greetings as well. I don't feel qualified to say namaste to you. So, but hopefully you and Sanaya are doing well. It's good to see you yesterday on Tom's show. Thanks for jumping on over there. He's a great guy, isn't he? And he's really knowledgeable. He's a great interviewer. I love Tom. So that was a great show yesterday. Excuse me. And hopefully for those of you who joined us, you enjoyed that as well. So great times indeed. So I think that's my option today. I don't see the ability to have an audio combiner. But if you know of a product like that, or maybe I just need like a switch, right? So you have like two audio sources and they come to one, you have one headphone jack and you just press a button and switch between the two. That would be sweet. So audio switcher. Okay. All right. This is a thing. So audio in. Ooh, that's like a manual punch. I would prefer. Interesting. Yeah, all right. There are options here for this. So that might be just what I do. Let's make this half screen. Yoink. All right. You beat me to it. What's going on, Frank? The switch is the way to go. How are you, man? Hopefully you're feeling better. Frank is out sick this week. So they should allow you to fade between two sources as well. Ooh. Wait, this one. I think this one allows you to turn up the volume on two sources. Is that how that works? And there's a mute button. It's like a DJ thing. Let's see. Main volume. Oh, selector. Oh, that's a bummer. And then it has like a driver. Okay. Because I would love it if you could like change the volume on either source. Not that I need to do that, but that would be pretty cool. And I certainly don't need like 4 sources. That's a little ridiculous. I don't need to import 4 sources too. Okay, so this is just like a switch. That would work. Just need a switch. So audio input. Let's see the ports on this. So audio in and out. Why is that out? Hang on. Okay, so here. Audio in and out 2, audio in and out 1, and then over here. Why does it say in and out? That's not right. I don't know. That's jacked up. Interesting pictures. Clearly photoshopped. I think that's what I want, but the switcher would work for what I want to do for a single headphone. It's a shame because I would rather necessarily want I don't necessarily want it to block the other one. I would prefer it to be active all the time, but I don't know if that's even like possible in the world of the electronics. So it's possible that that's just not a thing. This one's cool. It's very like electronic based. So you can take one source in and go, oh, that's the opposite of what I'm looking for. It's like a split out into 4 different destinations. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so a splitter. Ooh, a splitter switch with bass. Why I would need that, heaven only knows. Okay, so I think this single one, although it's $25, that's way more than I want to pay for that. Yeah. So somebody got an email, I think. Did you, Daniel? Let's add my desktop capture here. And let's take a quick look and see. Okay. So I think Daniel got an email because yeesh. So yeah, you may have gotten an email. Oh, that just takes it to the webpage. Well, anyways, here's a brief overview of the email that some of you probably got, and we'll cut over to that. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see because the emails thing sucks on Outlook. Yeah. So this right here, Play is shipping now. What's going on with that? I will read you this email just because it's, like I said, it's a little hard to read. But Play is the smallest HD 4K NDI player with full support for NDI 5. Connect Play to your NDI network, plug it into your TV via HDMI, and use your own remote to browse the sources and instantly connect. So we are announcing that Play is shipping, which is pretty exciting stuff. It's been a long time coming, and I know that there's a lot of back orders. And so, like I said yesterday on Tom's show, I couldn't give too many specifics. But like I said, back orders will be filled first. And so if you have already placed your order, those will be fulfilled first before general shipping will commence. So there are a lot of pre-orders. And yeah, a lot. So we'll see. But yes, Daniel is correct. Bird Dog Play is finally shipping. And if you get our promotional emails, you probably have an email right now that says something along those lines. So it's already posted on social medias, evidently. And so that's great too. That's all gone out. But yes, they are shipping now. So I said give us a couple weeks. And that was just in case anything foreseen came up. But there you go. It's official. It went out today. And so everybody can get all excited about that. Hey, what do you want to do with audio? I joined late. So I'm trying to, so I have two computers and I have one earpiece. So I'm trying to get both of those computers to go into a single earpiece. And it seems like the only way to do it is a switcher, like an audio switcher, which you can switch between the two and just have one cable plugged into that. And that would be fine. But if there was just like a cable that did it, that would also be great. That just combined both sources, that would also be fine. But that's what I'm trying to accomplish here. So because now I've got two machines and now I need to monitor both of them for sounds and what have you. So and the other thing I need to get is a keyboard, like a USB thing where I can put in one keyboard and just swap between the two, because right now I've got I've got two keyboards and two mice, and that's super duper confusing. So yeah, that's good times, everybody. So I got to keep them like everything right in front of me, and it's really annoying. So I'm learning how to manage two systems at once. But it seems that the stream seems to be all right, pretty solid via NDI. More NDI on my network, which is great. But that 4250 is handling it handsomely. So shout out to Netgear. The ones that I'm seeing with in-out on the same port are essentially bi-directional, so you can switch which way that you're trying to switch. Oh, how do you set that? Is there like a matrix switch on it or something that allows you to do that? I don't mind that feature. I mean, that might come in handy, but I just see a mute button and a 1 and 2 selector, so I'm not too sure how else you can do that. Well, that's a very tiny. This is a bidirectional audio switcher. It's designed for customers with multiple audio sources and outputs. They can easily switch between two of those signals. Can also distribute a 3.5 audio signal to 2 amps. Switch it to output mode. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Maybe that's the one I'll go with. Let's just put that in my shopping cart, and then I'll take a look at that after the show. Okay. Back to the chat. Hey, how's it going, everybody? So I enjoyed the Logitech MX keys. I'm using one keyboard for PC and Mac. I've heard about these. The Logitech. Oh, now that I have this screen, I've heard about the MX keys. So let's go here and take a quick look at the MX keys. So this is the most popular one. Let's throw that. Whoa. Yoink. Is it off? Yeah. Okay. So let's take a quick look at this one. This is the tactile responsive typing. Fantastic. Does this one allow, so how does this work necessarily in terms of you can switch between devices, or how does that function? Type on multiple computers in one fluid workflow. Perhaps I need to consider this. Perfect stroke keys, easy switch button. Where's that one? Number 5. What? Oh. Oh, do you have multiple USBs? Is that how it's done? Excuse me, is that how it's done? Ooh, they have a compact version. Ooh. How much? Ooh. Ooh. So do they do multiple USBs, or what's the story with that? Because I'd be very interested to know how that works. Over Bluetooth. Compact Bluetooth backlit, USB-C compatible with all Bluetooth, or is there one USB? Oh, here, keyboard with USB receiver. Compact. Oh, but this one doesn't. Oh, wait, that's just the. No, that's not right. Does this one have Bluetooth and a single receiver? Product 1, keyboard. Ooh, with emoji keys. Product 1, mini size, mighty powerful. Product 1, smart illumination, wireless keyboard backlit. Doesn't say any. Oh, there it is. Product 1, multi-device, multi-OS. Any operating system via Bluetooth, low energy, and switch between them seamlessly. Interesting. Switch between them seamlessly. Okay, so I don't know if this device, I guess maybe this device does have Bluetooth. I mean, it would be odd that it doesn't. It does. See, Linwood, shout out, buddy. Huge. See, I would have been doing some crazy USB button switching stuff, but this is the answer. And for $100, that's where it's at. Special thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by today. You have already redeemed. It's already been worth the price of admission. Wait, that's the other way around. It's I know. I guess I owe you candy or something. I don't know how I can repay you for that. Great suggestion, though. You can plug that USB receiver into any machine. So it will do Bluetooth and it will do USB receiver simultaneously. I mean, I don't need the USB necessarily. If it does Bluetooth to both devices. Ooh, there's a combo. Whoa, look at that mouse. That's cool. Are you using the mouse as well, or I guess I'm going to need a mouse. Although, well, yeah, I'm going to need a mouse. All the keyboards I have here right now are combos. And so that doesn't appear to come in compact keyboard and mouse. That's a cool mouse. But they have other versions. Combos, keyboard. So do they have is the full size available? Let's try that. So you need 2 audio sources in and 1 out, correct? Is it me or my network? It might be the stream. Let me know, guys. I don't know. This is a totally new setup, so it's very, very possible. Oh, GoWeb, you got the email. That's good. Good news. I have a new setup design here today that I'm running out of vMix via NDI, and I'm bringing that over and then converting it over on a secondary computer to keep the CPU level low. And right now I'm running in the 50%, and so vMix is very happy. I have heard that doing desktop capture is pretty taxing on vMix, but so far it's not too bad. So far. Curious too that we could add me into the bottom of this shot. Yep. And then position. Whoops. Let's Let's reset that. Oh. So, yoink. One thing I really like about vMix is it's pretty simple to create the layout that you need. So check this out now. Look at this. So there I am. I just threw that on there. That was easy. Yeah, I like that a lot. So my playlist is still running, by the way. So it switches. It does a little bit of automatic switching, but so far so good, man. vMix, you know, maybe I was a little harsh on vMix back in the day. Should take it back. So far, so good. Other than the eGPU issue, which I'd be interested to hear if anybody has vMix experience, in particular running eGPUs. I'd be interested to hear more about it. The Sonnet box is connected via Thunderbolt, and the spot that Tom Sinclair said that he was going to get hung up on was he thought Thunderbolt 3 was a problem for vMix, which is surprising, actually. But a lot of things surprised me about vMix, good and bad. If Thunderbolt 3 is an issue for vMix, that's unfortunate because it's 40 gig bandwidth. And if you're using a PCIe card times 16, that is technically 40 gig through, which means that you have the full capacity on a Sonnet eGPU box. You have the full capacity to run the maximum amount of data from the GPU. But if it doesn't like, Thunderbolt 3, then that's going to be a problem. Because the symptoms that I have is when I switch over for vMix to only use the NVIDIA graphics card, it's a Quadro 4000, so it's no joke. We switch over to use that, I get full, like 100% CPU and 100% GPU. Everything maxes out instantly. So something is clearly not right, and I'm hoping that it's like a bad driver, but I've checked those dozens and dozens of times, and that does not seem to be fixing anything. So, yeah, more on that later, I guess. More on that later. So, Go Web. Yeah, what I need then is I have two outputs from two different computers, and I want them in one earpiece so I can just monitor between the two machines. That would be ideal. I wonder if I could. Probably not. No, I probably can't do that. Anyways, more on that as I think that through and open any suggestions. I'm really liking this Logitech MX keyboard and mouse. Wonder if so I clicked on full size. It's also currently not available. So I'd rather go with compact because I'm not using the number pad in this room very often. So I don't necessarily need that beyond the numbers across the top. So that would be fine. However, currently unavailable, and we don't know when it will be back in stock. So that's a bummer. Oh, that was not available either. Okay, so Logitech makes other keyboards, like other MX series keyboards. So let's take a look at those ones. It doesn't have to be the graphite one, I guess. Let me kill this real quick, and we'll jump back over, and you can navigate this with me. So 107 is the grand total here. Now do they have, whoa, the mouse is $100. Oof, that's a steep price. What else we got here? Wow, that's cool. Logitech mechanical wireless illuminated performance keyboard tactile. That's again $170. I don't think I've ever spent that sort of money on a keyboard, but I'm not in that realm to spend that sort of money. But that does seem steep. But this MX series, I would love to have a button that would show me all MX series keyboards. MX wireless, $100. I guess I could just get a straight up compact mouse. I mean, I don't have to do any of this. So this keyboard is $100, but well, no, because I need it to control it on two computers. So it needs to be a combo pack if that's what I'm going to use it for, right? Is it possible for you to give a give a demo of Play now? No, but I will do that next week. Mostly because it's shipping now, but I don't have a final I don't have a final hey, what's going on, Judson? I don't have a one from the factory because they're being fulfilled for pre-releases and pre-orders and what have you. But I do have one here, but I need to it's a pre-release model, and so I need to do some updates on it to get it to the post-release model. So I'll try and do that for next week's show, and then be able to kind of walk you through what it is that I'm saying. I even have a TV here. I could put a camera on it, I guess, and you could see it. Ooh, that's an interesting idea. I have a TV here, but I could put like a mini on it. So I could capture it over NDI and pass through the play. So play into mini and then mini into TV and capture the. Well, now we're getting a little ridiculous. So GoWeb, thanks for that. I really appreciate you adding to my plate of things that I need to do. When is NDI5 coming to cameras and the minis? So NDI5 is already out for cameras. It says beta on the website, but it's pretty much final. There's a couple of like performance-based things that they want to fix in the actual final firmware, and that's pretty close to coming out. But the one that's up there right now, the beta, that's pretty much the final thing. It just says beta. If your organization won't install it because of that, then that's pretty strict environment, and you may want to wait until things have been in full release for a few months just to verify. That sounds like that's probably a safer bet. But if you want to just move to NDI5 and you don't have those restrictions, the beta up there is as solid as the rest of them. That P200 that you're looking at right there, the 110 that's up in the corner, the 100 that's above me, and the P400 that's on the angle shot, they're all running NDI5, and they're actually all running our UDP. So I can attest that it's working just fine. I don't have any hiccups or problems with it. So the NDI5 update that's on the website should be pretty good to go. Now, the mini that you're asking about, that is a converter line for NDI5. That is slated to be done next. Of course, probably the units that are first slated are the 4K family and the Flexes, because they're the converters that are being purchased en masse right now. The Studio and the Minis are, well, Studio's done. So that one will get an NDI5 update, but it'll probably be last. And then the Minis that's probably our oldest converter product as well. And so it will likely be last. However, the way that works is we release we'll probably release the big one, which is quad and 4K family. And then it's basically a roll down from there. So the Flex is a different piece of hardware, but the FPGA is pretty much the same. And so we can scale it down from the 4K HDMI likely down to the Flex units, and then scale it down again for the Mini. So we'll see how quickly the Mini's release will be, but it's likely not the highest priority on the converter line. But in theory, once you get it on one converter, then we should be able to relatively quickly, and again, that's the subjective term, we should be able to turn it around on the rest of the converter line as well. So I would check that out. Yes, Rest in Peace Studio. I have a video about Rest in Peace Studio. I haven't played that in a while, but she is the old faithful around here. We'll miss her dearly because once we got her up to like NDI 3, she just rock solid. So it was a sad day when we had to let her go. I already placed an order to the distributor in India. Awesome. The distributor in India, is that CDM Technologies? Is that right? Good guys over there. They're always placing orders. So will an NDI5 camera work with a converter that is not yet updated to NDI5? So you're going from like a P200 to a Mini? Is that what I'm hearing? I can do it. Doesn't seem to be an issue for me. I try and keep the protocols the same, so TCP. But if you are hesitant at all, I would wait until you can update your entire fleet to NDI5. We're in this weird area because the cameras are all basically moved to NDI5. I have Flexes though that show this show on TVs and monitors and whatever, and it doesn't seem to be an issue. especially when I'm routing NDI5 directly to them. So it appears to work. Now, the big claim that NewTek said when they launched, well, NDI.TV said, was that NDI5 would be backwards compatible. I don't know how much I believe that, just because we need to see it before, call me a doubting Thomas, but we need to see it before we can believe it, just because there are some things that have changed. So if you're hesitant at all, I just say wait. We're probably not too far off from it, but that is a project that has to be started, the converter line, and that's different than the cameras, because the cameras are doing a lot of other stuff, especially the PTZ line. So if you're hesitant at all, I just stay on LTS all the way through as long as you can, and then when the converter line NDI5 comes out, then I would switch to that. That's the safest bet. But really, it's up to you, and certainly you can test, and then if you're on LTS, you can downgrade the camera back to NDI4 by just doing the firmware update, because the baseboard for LTS for 4.5 needs to be the latest baseboard in order to work with the latest firmware. And then once you do that update, that LTS update, then NDI5 is just a firmware update, and it does double check the MICU board and do a few things, but you can always go back to NDI4 if you need to. So if you have some downtime in your production, you might be able to just test that out and see how that works. I don't have any real problems with it, but then again, I'm not like staring at my decoders for hours on end. So you might just need to make a decision based on what you need right now, and if it can wait. Who knows? I mean, I don't know how long the converter project will take. It might take 3 months. It might take 6 months. It might take a year. Probably not, but hopefully not. But obviously the big one is quad, right? Because that one is the most complicated and the most processor heavy and all that. So once quad comes out, then we should have our chops about us with how to do the rest of it. So I still use the studio units all the time, and you should. There's nothing wrong with them. They're great HD devices. They function. They're great, but we no longer sell them. We don't make them anymore, which was a sad day when that happened. Yes, CDM technology, good stuff. Will the Mini be able to do an encode and decode simultaneously with the NDI5 release? No, and that feature is not coming to the Mini. The only device that will do that eventually will be the quad, but no single channel unit will simultaneously encode and decode. That is not a promised feature at this time. You might be able to add both audio sources to a mixer and add each source as a different aux out into vMix, and then toggle audio sources to an earpiece. Oh, man, that's 2 good suggestions from you today. Linwood, where have you been? Good stuff, man. Yes, I have 2 open channels. Why did I think of this? I could just route that right out to the so jeez. Where's my brain today? Obviously, John. Obviously. That's genius. Jeez, Linwood. Yeah, now I owe you more than candy. Well done, sir. Actually, I'm going to go meet Bird Dog Jason tomorrow at CDM booth at Broadcast India. Hey, have fun over there. Yes, Jason Buck, Jason. He is such a cool dude, and he's working like crazy over in the SEA area, the APAC area. Sorry, so Australia Pacific. It's he's super busy, but I think he's in Mumbai right now. Forget where he's at. He's traveling around like crazy, but he'll be headed over, I think, to Broadcast India. So yes, go shake his hand and say hi and tell him Bird Dog John sent you. Yeah, it's good. It's always a good time with Jason around. Can the Minis decode a camera with HX? No. So the Mini is a full NDI Bird Dog product. The products that will eventually be able to decode HX will be Play, will be Silicone 2 products. So when those come out, I don't know which converters are getting those, the Silicone 2 update, but they, in theory, should also be able to do HX. but the Mini doesn't have the horsepower to run Silicon 2, so it will not be getting that update. Facebook user, Play is shipping. I can't wait to use these for a Christmas production. Well, you have to let us know how that goes. Yeah, good times. Keep us posted as to how that production goes, because I'd be very interested to know. Oh, Baki is there now. There you go. Hey, what's going on, Phil? It's good to see you, man. As always, thanks for stopping by. Yes, okay, so Jason's already over there, evidently. So there you go. That's good times. Cool. So great questions. Thanks everybody. This has been helping out big time, and I hope that you're enjoying the show. Feel free to jump in the chat. You do that on YouTube over on birddogjohn.tv. That's the easiest place to find this show. Subscribe to that channel if you haven't already, just because trying to gain some momentum over there on YouTube so we can get a handle that's appropriate and not just some long jargon. But birddogjohn.tv works for now. And then as you grow, then YouTube allows you to do some stuff. So we want to get to a place, and this is the best place to do that. But you could also find me on Twitch as birddogjohn, and you could also find me on Instagram as what is it? birddogjohn.tv/IG. So when I travel, and I don't do a lot of it right now, but sometimes I travel, I post updates when I travel for the company. I post updates about where I'm at and what I'm doing and whatever. So my trip to Melbourne, that happened like a month and a half ago. That's all up there. NAB, that's all up there prior to me catching COVID. So yeah, it's all there, and it's good stuff. My company's cameras are PTZ optics with HX, and we use the minis for remote TV locations on jobs. Nice. Well, there are some options. I think that you could retransmit HX signals using Bridge. Help me out here, people. I think Bridge will allow you to do to retransmit, and that would turn it into full NDI, and then the minis could read it. So it's a shame. The other thing that you could do is you could put a mini on the back of that PTZ optics camera, go HDMI out of the PTZ optics into a BirdDog Mini, and now you have full NDI, and it'll be way faster. It will be right off the baseboard of that camera instead of being encoded into HX, which is like 8 or 10 frames. So you could encode it into full NDI with a BirdDog Mini and get it into your system that way. And now you have the fastest version of NDI off of that camera's baseboard, not out of the NDI encode. And then you could send that across to other BirdDog devices. So there you go. So I jumped to the other channel. I've subscribed. I appreciate that. Thank you. I just got an email notification in my ear. So I suspect that's an email saying somebody subscribed to your channel. Let's, whoops, wrong web browser. Yes. Hey, somebody has subscribed. So there you go. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate that. All right. Let's close that down. Back to it. Yes, so the plays are shipping, and we'd be very interested in knowing about your Christmas production. Cool. Okay, caught up there. All right. So, my question is, does anybody have any vMix experience, in particular with eGPUs? If not, no big deal. But good stuff. Ooh, I'm going to get more updates according to GoWeb. If anybody does, though, let me know, because I have some questions that I would love to host on this show and find out some answers about that. If you missed yesterday's fun time online, I was over on Tom Sinclair's show, and he interviewed me. We did everything through vMix Caller. Worked really well. A little bit more latency than I would prefer, but we were able to have a conversation. You'll notice that we kind of cut each other off every now and then, and that was unfortunate, but that is the way that those sorts of things go. But if you've seen me interview Jake, we did that over BirdDog Cloud. It's a little bit quicker. And so if you go, actually, the thing that we just did, what did we do? Oh, we did a demo on Cloud and Central, which, by the way, those video highlights are up on the BirdDog YouTube page. So if you go over to the Bird Dog YouTube page, Bird Dog TV, you'll see a whole bunch of me and Jake thumbnails, and they're little highlights from the show that we did together. And yeah, if you missed those shows, that's the quickest way to kind of digest that information that we covered. And that was everything about Cloud 3.0 and the new Central 2.0. So good stuff over there. vMix, yes, nothing on eGPUs yet. Well, I am having an issue with an eGPU, and I suspect it has something to do with Thunderbolt 3. Do you know anything about vMix and Thunderbolt 3? Evidently, they don't play nicely together. I'm just looking to confirm that information, really. And that's unfortunate if they don't, because I really need them to. I don't know if there's any other way to connect this Sonnet box with my computer other than the eGPU. There's also a NIC card on the Sonic box, which I haven't figured out what that's for, but we'll check that out. Well, tell my team to subscribe. Hey, GoWebs team, subscribe to the birddogjohn.tv site. Is the GPU selected in the vMix settings? Yes. So when I go into, so you have to go and you have to tell the control panel, the NVIDIA control panel, to only process things through that card, right? I've even gone as far as to turning off the other graphics card in the machine, because I've heard vMix doesn't play well with two graphics cards. And so it's kind of like, okay, well, we'll figure that out. All fine, except it still doesn't play nice. And actually, when I turn on full NDI sources, it drops frames. It's super stuttery. It's not smooth at all. If I switch them all to low bandwidth mode, so obviously the images are not nice and crisp, then it seems to be able to handle it. But I'm running a 10 gig fiber card for this computer's connection. So pretty sure it's not that. Pretty sure it's working just fine. But doesn't seem to, it keeps dropping frames like crazy. So yeah. Oh, before I get too far, Aaron says, what do you recommend for recording multiple ISO recordings out of NDI? So you're talking about recording straight NDI, multiple signals? Well, it's hard to do because it really depends on what just the raw NDI signals. It's hard to do that without a beefy machine, because it's going to consume a lot of hard drive space. So hard drive speeds, all that stuff is going to be a part of this conversation, and how they're connected. And so M2 drives will probably be the best bet, but SSDs for sure. Spinning drives, no, don't use those. Steer clear of your floppy disks. You get 3 seconds. I've seen it done out inside vMix, right? You can record multiple streams in vMix. I've seen it done where you can record, I don't know if you can do it in vMix now that I say that out loud. Anyway, I've seen it done in multiple instances of Studio Monitor. Yeah, a few other things. Throw that out to the group. What do you guys recommend to use to record multiple ISO NDI streams? I'm getting some frame drops from your feed on Facebook and here on YouTube. Interesting. I'm not too well. I'll have to look into that, because everything is humming along nicely at 50%. So if it's dropping frames, that's very possible. I'm not watching as closely as I should. Everything here looks smooth. It could be the NDI process coming out of vMix and going across to this machine that's not perfect. But maybe I'll run dyno on it after the show and see if it's smooth or if it's dropping frames from across the network. Is your GPU selected in vMix? Yes, it is. Hey, Michael Graves, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in on today and yesterday's show. Yeah, flip the mux switch. What now? Oh, thanks. What's going on, Monty? Yeah, just to be clear, so shipping means that it's leaving our manufacturing warehouse. So let's say 10 days. But if you place an order, they're in the channel, they're on their way to the channel, and so They're shipping out of our manufacturing facility this week, and then they should be on the way. Thank you, Monty. Yes, please heed Monty's mention there. They're not like at the distributors right now. I'm a hardware lover, but I'm reluctant when it comes to software encoders. I started using vMix for a short period in 2011, but quickly shifted to hardware encoders. I mean, see, this is a philosophy thing with IT and tech guys, is like you find what works best for you, and that's a subjective thing. But I have always felt that like you buy the thing to do the thing. Don't buy a thing to do 20 things. So, like a jack of all trades is a master of none. And there's more to that sentence, but the beginning is true. Buy the thing to do the thing, and don't buy the thing to do all the things, because it never works out. It does everything poorly, and that sucks. My studio has mostly Blackmagic 8 times. Well, we'll forgive you for that. In the performance section of vMix, the GPU is shown. Yes, the GPU is selected inside. You have to reboot vMix, but it shows up there. And I've got 8 gigs on that card. So high performance, checkbox, restart, vMix, whatever. Still can't get to go smooth. 10 gigs and eGPU on the same Thunderbolt 3. No, separate boxes actually. So I have a Sonnet box that does the 10 gig fiber, and then I've got a separate Sonnet box for the eGPU that has the Quadro inside it. Something similar to the Atmos Shogun 7, but I need NDI and 16 sources. Whoa, 16 sources. Well, NDI doesn't do 16 audio channels like SDI does. It just does channels 1 and 2. So NDI may not be an option for you to send that much audio over if that's what you're hoping to encode. If you're looking to encode just straight up NDI, then stay tuned for the core, because that's basically what you're looking for. But it won't do the audio. It won't do that many audio channels, because that's not NDI. Just does channels 1 and 2. How does Dino perform? So Dino is basically a graphical version of NDI analysis. If you know what you're reading in NDI analysis, you don't really need Dino. But Dino allows you to see a graphical form of the packets coming into the computer that Dino is being run on. So it's a way to check your network. It can check, video sources, but generally the nodes are not the thing that are having problems. It's the chain all the way through. Right up until like NIC card restrictions and whatever. So I, for an example, I was just on a call a week or so ago with somebody who was running Dino, and he was saying, see, when I put 4 in here, it starts dropping frames. We said, well, like, does it drop frames when you use it inside? I think it was Wirecast. And he's like, no. And I was like, so we're just troubleshooting Dino is all we're doing here. Like, we're not, like, it doesn't drop frames in Wirecast, but it does drop frames in Dino, and you're wanting to know why. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, but the goal is for it not to drop frames in Wirecast. If Dino loads up your NIC card and your NIC card struggles, and actually Kane was on this call from NewTek, who's somebody that is well known in the industry. He just said, okay, but you're loading at multiple ports. He's like, let's just do the general rule with a 1 gig NIC card, and let's just say you have 600 megs. Well, you're with 4 sources, you're running 600 megs basically. So you're at the limit. So the problem is that he had 5 sources. So he would add the 5th source, and then things would start falling apart. It was like, pretty sure it's your NIC card, because the 1 gig NIC card is peak performance, not average performance. So let's say average performance is about 600 megs. So that's how that kind of worked. But anyways, an interesting conversation to have, at least. But Dino is just a graphical version of NDI analysis. You can select a source and say, run a 1-minute test, and it just pulls all the frames from that source and gives you a 1-minute readout as to, did anything drop on its way over here, or is this computer capable of handling this source? Or you can select multiples and say, can this computer handle multiple sources? So it's all good. And I added 5 cameras to my studio, and I was having issues. And then I added a second NIC card, and they all went away. And then I disconnected all those NIC cards, and I just plugged in my 10 gig Ethernet, and it's been pretty great since then. So good stuff. The vMix Knowledge database says that this will not work. Will an eGPU connected via Thunderbolt work well? That sucks. An eGPU does have the same bandwidth as a 16 times slot. Yeah, it's a 40 gig pipe, right? So I was hoping, but yes, I see frame drops on YouTube. Okay, thanks. I'm not too sure what I can do about that right now, but it may also have something to do with my bandwidth. I was having some transmission issues when I first started the show, so it may be that. But when you took hardware encode in vMix, it will use NVENC on the GPU. Where do you click hardware encode? Oh, I think I've already got it because I have an onboard GPU, and this is that. This is the rendering from that onboard GPU, which is holding steadily at like 50%. But if I could offload all of the encoding onto an eGPU and then just use vMix to run the shell, but just run everything on the eGPU, that'd be great. It would lighten the CPU load, and I'd have probably great performance. But evidently, it can't be done. How much boost do you see performance-wise when you add an external GPU? Well, I would assume a bunch because this graphics card's only got 2 gigs. The Quadro's got 8. So I was hoping to have a fair bit, but 16 video sources. Yeah, I don't know of a software that'll do that many. I could be wrong. There could be one out there that does it, but I would probably look for a hardware solution where you could get those signals converted into HDMI or SDI or something like that, and then record them, do a hardware, record them simultaneously like that, Sorry, eGPU only has 4 times. Oh, all right. Well, that's still what, like 10 gigs or something like that. I forget what it is. Maybe it's like 8 gigs. But anyways, it would be great. Again, evidently, vMix Knowledge Database says that you can't do it, which is lame-o. So, yeah, that stinks. Just read this real quick. Okay, cool. All righty. Well, it's 12:03. Good stuff, everybody. I didn't have any snacks on stream planned today. We've got some great ideas as to what I'm going to do about my audio situation. So thanks for that. That was very helpful. A special shout out to Linwood Webb for some good suggestions there. And in the meantime, I don't know. Yeah, Play is shipping. It's coming out of the factory now, and so it's headed towards the distributors. Monty says, let's give it about a week or 10 days. Let's go with 10 days just to be safe. But if you've placed a pre-order, that's what we're trying to fulfill first. And so those are the first ones to come out of the factory and get fulfilled. And then beyond that, of course, we're trying to get them into the distributors and sort it out. So there you go. We're officially shipping Play now. The email blast went out right at 11 o'clock, right when the show started. So that gave us some excitement to begin the show with. But yeah, good stuff. And I'm excited. We'll try and set up a Play demo for next week so that we can show it and loop it through, maybe a loop out on a mini or something like that. And then you guys can see its abilities. I have a TV in here, so we might as well utilize that. That's what my desktop capture is. But yeah, good stuff. And thanks for dropping in, everybody. Really appreciate it. There is a whole bunch of stuff to do here before the week is out, and a lot of moving parts. We have actually somebody new starting in this office on Monday, and so we've got to get the training stuff together for him and start putting some things together, like his desk. That's got to be physically put together. We do the heavy lifting around here as well as all the NDI stuff. So there you go. All right, everybody. Well, I hope that you're having a great end of the week. It has been a busy one here at Bird Dog, and its next day and a half are also going to be really busy. So we're looking forward to that. We can't wait to talk more about Play now that it is available and shipping. It is on its way across from manufacturing, so good times there. But if you have any questions, of course, as always, please reach out to us over at our help desk system, which is at help@birddog.tv. I've got a team of guys that can assist if you've got questions between now and next Tuesday. I'll be back online. The plan is next Tuesday at 11 o'clock. So if you've got questions, you don't want to submit a ticket, write it down, stick it on the computer. and then go over and subscribe to the birddogjohn.tv channel. That's my YouTube page. If you subscribe there, you're doing me a massive favor because we're trying to grow that so that we can do some stuff with YouTube. But also, then you can subscribe to the channel and set up your notifications how you like to have them set up in YouTube. You don't have to rely on social media to know that when I go live. So we try to do it twice a week. It's a regular show. Try to make it at the same time so people can join us. And then, yeah, that's all good. So always, if you need help right away, help at birddog.tv. Also, if you have questions about the product line, like you haven't purchased it yet, but you're thinking, I'm wondering if this would work for my workflow or what's involved in setting up a proper NDI network and that sort of thing, we have a great sales team at hello@birddog.tv, and so they'd be able to help you over there as well. So be sure to reach out to us. Let us know what you got going on. We can certainly give you a hand with that. What's going on, Sanaya? Good to see you. Thanks for jumping on here. So yeah, we definitely can give you a hand there, or you can come back on Tuesday, bring your questions, and we can go over that. Definitely want to do something with the place. We're going to try and make that happen next week. Give me some time to set mine up and get it all updated. I have a pre-factory model, so got to do an image update on it. But once that's up and running, yeah, we can walk through that and see how that works and get you guys excited for that new product. So in the meantime, take care of yourselves. It's always a pleasure having you around, and hope that you have found some of this enjoyable. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next week on Tuesday, right around 11 o'clock. So take care. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
Resistance is futile.